into it.
Yeah, I mean, there are no excuses. So for me at this point, I mean, they're playing at the top of the game. They want to be up there as well, and they are. You can see them sitting right now tied in 7th and 8th place with Riddle there. And they're just going to keep going. They're just going to say, you know what? This didn't work yesterday. Today is the day we make it do so.
And these are the most valuable points that you need to be grabbing yourself. You've got to try and get into that top 8, but alongside it, get the frags out non-stop.
Yeah.
And yes, this point system can be harsh, but it is one that these teams now know inside and out, and they need to deliver on. We can't have this anymore where, like, we've seen multiple teams who don't even make placement points walk away with 7, 8 kills and be up within the top 8 of actual points secured in that game. It is possible.
The thing is, I think, and that's also one of the reasons that we see some of the teams down in the bottom, that they will play edge, but they won't go aggressive.
Yeah.
And that's what gets them killed in the end more often than not, because if they aren't an aggressive, or if they aren't a strong fighting team on the edge of the circle, you have minimal space, you have multiple teams around you, and you keep going down there, then it's just not gonna. I mean, it's not gonna happen for you whatsoever.
Well, as always, guys, it's 4 games of Miramar coming your way today, and that's going to take us only 4 games away from the end for our first part of PUBG Europe Contenders for Group A. But we're going on to Group B next week, of course. They need to finish off as well, and then we'll have our solidified 16 teams who have all got to fight it out once again across 32 more games to show who really is going to be the most dominant force within all of Europe.
It is going to be really interesting to see. And of course, for those of you guys out there watching that don't know, maybe you saw Phase 1, didn't know this for Phase 2. But these guys, not only are they playing for, of course, being the crowned champions of contenders, but they're also trying to get into that amazing PUBG Pro League that's going on in Berlin.
And that's what their game is here, right? Their entire situation they're fighting for, all these games they're playing, what they're trying to show themselves is that we're more than just the contenders teams. Right? They're using this as the launch platform to get themselves up there. But that's another thing we don't mention, really, is that all the teams that have made it this far to contenders, they are still one of the few elite teams in it. There may be some of these teams having bad performances and we question what's being done. It's only because the caliber is so high at the moment. There is still, they've worked so hard to even get into contenders.
I mean, for comparison, bring it over to another title. There are 16 teams in the Pro League right now. If you're the 17th best team in Europe in Counter-Strike, I mean, you're pretty far up there. If you're the 17th best team in any title at all, I'm just saying references to FPS games. Yeah. I mean, you're a well-respected player saying this guy know what the hell he or she is doing, and obviously so these contenders teams have quite a big punch when it comes to these fights.
Well, let's see who's got the big punch when it comes to the fights in Game 1 here. Who's going to get off to a good start? Yesterday's opening game actually saw the Wildcats walk away with that first place. 24 points as well, getting 14 kills. They impressed us. But then again, there's not been any consistency here because even when our good teams like a Zen or an Avangar come in with wins, we sometimes then don't see them early on. This is a real difficult map, I feel, in this lobby, just for a lot of these teams that it's not been working out. And also, yes, we've had some crazy circles with it as well.
Yeah, circles haven't really been helpful in that regard whatsoever. But one thing I'm looking forward to see now, sure, day 1, you have X amount of chaos there based on these guys not having played the map against each other before. Day 2, the teams that did their homework started shining through. We saw Avangar get a win, Zoekt Een Naam got a win, Besiktas were up there in the leaderboards a couple of times. Teams that we know have the experience and the talent needed in order to make the best of even bad situations and do their homework properly. Now Game 3, for some of these teams that might not be as skilled or experienced as some of the top teams are, you have had 2 full days of playing this map. This is the 3rd one. You have no excuse on getting caught out in weird situations where like, oh, we didn't expect him to be there. Sure, crazy things can happen, but you always have to have a backup plan.
And that's what it's about, and also being able to deal with the situation that's put in front of you. Many of these positions teams have found themselves in is they've come down into maybe just approached it in the wrong way when it comes to it overall. And we're getting a bit of island play in here once again. This looks familiar, and Avangar are close to it. We've already got LXG inside alongside Futbolist, No Tag and Powerful in there. Little bit of a split off here, but overall, this could be one of those circles where it makes it kind of scary.
I mean, with these circles, we had 2 of them yesterday going out east. Now the majority of players here jumped out west. We see only 3 teams currently well inside the circle, and then we have 2 teams sitting just on the northern side. Everybody else on the direct west. This was the game that Zoekt Een Naam ended up winning by coming in from the bottom side. They drove all the way around. Once that circle hard shifted south, they took the trip all the way around Los Leones to make a push up from below, and they really, really made it work. This is the kind of thing that I'm expecting to see other teams having looked through in the VOD. Say, hey, wait, we got a similar circle here yesterday. If the next one pops similarly, Zoekt Een Naam can't be the only team to make a play like that. They cannot be given that much space to do those sort of plays. Other teams have to adapt to that too.
And that's where it comes down to the quick decision making on how you want to rotate round on this. Now, Avangar last time when this circle popped, they again went out with just 2 players left alive for the longest part of it. They had to fight back over and over again, and it was not an easy push in for them. But they still managed to get good placements off it, and that's what's the most crazy thing when we see all this go down. But I know at least here, when it comes down to what we're going to see is we'll get these teams that don't want to go for the longer rotations. That's quite often we see from Forze and Riddle, your teams like Insidegames. They'll just want to push all the way in on this western side and try and take a compound early. But what they don't want to have happen is some of these other teams start to gatekeep them, because we've seen it before. They will just sit on the edge and fight, and they don't want to go further in. Now, Besiktas normally always go Impala, but this time, because of the way the plane went, they just went above Valdemar. So they're now in a position where they're going to have the rotation in. But for me, the smart decision is them to do similar to what Zen did and go on that south rotation.
And you say you're not an analytical guy in PUBG, James. You just had like 30 seconds of brilliance. There you go.
I'm literally just regurgitating what I've heard and seen.
No, but it's completely correct. Everything you said there, very, very well observed. I love it.
I'm loving the game. That's what it's coming into. We say this, right? It's not a joke anymore. It's like we say it at the end of the day. It's like even when some of the Miramar games were slower, right, and they weren't like having consistent plays come out of the teams. Some of just the ways teams approach the fights shows them that if they can get down to the end top 8 or so, they actually play very well. It's the beginning bits. It's more I think some of the teams just really have awful rotations in terms of like they make a decision, but maybe it's not a well-educated decision.
Let's put it this way. Sometimes you see teams in the end game where you're like, well, I wasn't expecting that to happen. And then you go back and look through the VOD and you're like, oh my God, they were so lucky in all the rotations. There were teams driving 1 second too late, 1 second too early. That would have been them potentially in a fight that they could have lost or, well, could have won as well. But for sure, we see that happen sometimes where, I mean, things can go, even though you feel like you've planned everything completely according to plan, still just one guy sitting somewhere or one vehicle flipping that like messes up your timing. I mean, there's so many factors. And that's both what I love and hate about PUBG. So many different factors playing in here.
Yeah, you truly have to be ready for anything, as we're going to see some of the teams already start to make their way a little bit further in. This is powerful, LXG, and like we said, Riddle, right, already starting their rotation. That's what they want to do here. That's where they're going to go for, which means all these other Western teams, given how much water is still included in this, they are going to struggle on having to probably fight through some of this because there is just not going to be room.
Riddle has been one of the more edge-fighting teams, and in this circle yesterday, when they have a similar one and they land in the same spot, they actually didn't move as early as they do here. Now, the circle just started closing in. You can see it creeping in on the western side of the map if you're watching the map stream as well. Very recommendable if you have two monitors, definitely. Even if you don't swap back and forth every now and again. It's !map, I believe, in the chat is the command to get the link for that. And yeah, I mean, they're making their way in earlier. They're saying, you know what, we cannot just sit on the edge, have to fight these things all the time. Let's see if we can get something sent over. The thing is, there's not a whole lot to take in this sender. Now, Wildcats, they won the first game yesterday, but they seem to have taken a loss here with Honor going down early.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like anyone was really that close. You can see his teammates near, but they're not super close to even be able to defend that. So I guess he was still looting up in one house or going on the rotating, getting picked off there. And yeah, that's what can happen early on here. And especially if no tag team have got a chance like that. Remember, this is our team that you would say has been the most of the consistence you can have so far.
On day one for sure. Yeah. On day one for sure. They didn't. I don't feel like they did a whole lot yesterday. Oh, clip. Goodbye, Mirado. Whee. Hopefully it's going to hit a tree or something. If not, then it's going to roll real far. That's also something that, of course, is super unfortunate. But the fact that you just lost one of your vehicles, and I saw there being a buggy there. If you're forcing two people on a buggy early on with potential of players being all around you, that could be you dying instead of surviving when you're sitting exposed in the backseat of that thing.
And that's the real big difference here when you compare Erangel and Miramar. When that does happen in Erangel, you've got some more spots you can hide behind, or you're not going to get seen as much. When it comes to Miramar, most likely you're in the open and it's going to be a real struggle.
Yeah, and multiple teams will also most likely have eyes on you. You can see Yord is already getting shot at. He's making his run on, trying to get himself into a better position. All of Riddle have gotten themselves into, well, I mean, I believe as center as they could get in this situation. Azarin is trying to see if he can find the edge of the map right now. I think he saw a crate miles out on the edge of the map, and now he's just sitting there saying, well, first of all, I'm going to get a crate. Second of all, if it's an island circle, I'm ready for it. And I actually like the fact that Avangar are even saying at this point, we've seen it. It's a thing. It can happen, and I'm going to be ready for it.
Now, we've seen Avangar and Zen now both come down from the north into the south. They've not rotated the hard south all the way around. Besiktas have gone for that. It looks like Gamerlegion are in a similar position, as is K23. So still going to be a lot of fighting going on here from these guys.
Yeah, you can see on the map stream, they're all rotating underneath Las Leones. That's what I said before. You can't really just do a shortcut and drive through the city. You're forcing yourself all the way around. And it's going to take some time, and that's why they're making their rotations out earlier. Page spots out one. Grishka, that's a good shot connected by Page. That gets himself a knock on towards him, but he's taking shots in return immediately. Did get the finish off, though.
Love how Azrin's got his solo cam picking up this crate as well.
There are barely any waves remaining out there. He's so far on the edge of the map, and it's an AOG. I hope he's satisfied with that at least.
At least he's got the length freeze as well.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll be happy. That's not the end of the world. Probably would have hoped for better. Give Max's on AWM, you know. It's always the dream.
He got the 8x. That's kind of halfway there, right? Well,
he'll take it. He'll definitely take it.
4 teams hugging the southern side, and as I said before, teams have got to prep themselves properly in these circles and know what to do. And now it seems like all of them have found out what the golden rule for Zoekt Een Naam at least was in that one game, and all of them are doing similar things here. They saw the hard shift south yesterday, and they're saying, well, if it happened yesterday, then it's going to happen today too, because patterns and coincidences and algorithms and Illuminati, I don't know, all those things that you try to put in your head too.
You just like maybe picture the meme guy who's got like all the things around his head, like, what does this mean?
I know where they're going. Bjorn gets himself a knock on towards one of the Northern Lights players on the southern side down there.
Oh wow, and Gamerlegion are just sat there right on the edge waiting for other teams to roll in. Ooh. Oh, we go up north, we include some of the water still as well. All these fights going on, it's no tag team. Having still this fight with the Istanbul Wildcats. They eliminated one of the players early on, but the rest of them are going to slowly be falling down. Nade's going out to try and get the finish shots, but there's still one more player up and running within it.
That was an insane knock by Tubesy there to finish it. Just double tap over the top and back down. I don't even think he realized he got the knock to begin with. But yeah, as you said, James, Circle did go north. And for all these guys that thought they were 200 IQing this one going down south, they have a long journey ahead of them. Because not only are they driving side by side with one another in kind of a death race to the circle, but they also have teams waiting for them once they do get there. There is not a whole lot to play from. You have El Zahar, nobody want to be in the city. You have a huge valley going from there down towards the junkyard. And, well, I mean, everything but that. It's just tricky to play around.
It's even funnier as well because all the teams were like, oh, we saw what Zen did, let's go south. And Zen and Avangar this time just go from north to south, and it works in their favor instead.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I don't think they do it because they said, oh, look, Zoekt Een Naam did it. Then it must mean that it's a successful thing to do. I mean, Zoekt Een Naam has also had rough games, right? So you cannot just look at one team and say, oh, we'll just do whatever they do. That must mean success. You have to kind of put your own touches on it. Then it's a I want to say obvious thing to do here early on. I was just surprised to see so many teams go forward. Now actually Northern Lights, considering that they lost the deep just before, they say, you know, we're just going to send it back. We saw there were so many teams there, and we're going to take the long rotation. Snoopy now having sputtered out some of the Seekorg players.
Looking for more. Simsy's under pressure from Hamster, but he's going to jump back out, fire off on towards him. The nade goes out. Simsy's going to try and avoid it. Continues to push his way down the hill, and he's shooting up onto Hamster, who prones just in the nick of time. Lux has gone down, though, which means Simsy knows he has to try and back away because he wants to stick with his teammates.
Wild Bucky rolling down the hill in the meantime. Now Simsy gets taken down, too. That's Magan once again. He got himself a knock just before, but now Bjorn goes down in return. So multiple fights happening as we try and we'll do our very best to cover all of them. Bjorn does get finished off, so trading 1-for-1 so far.
All of these teams in the south that are fighting now, which is Besiktas, Gamerlegion, and K23, none of them have got any benefit here. You've still got to get in the circle, but you're also fighting, and they've all lost at least one player other than K23.
They are miles out, and that's what I said before. You're only going to drive next to one another for so long until, like, guys, can we just stop, take this fight, and get it over with? We want to be that only team coming in, because in all honesty, you'd rather take the fight here right now, since you get finished off, rather take the fight here than drive side by side and fight each other while you have the third party coming in from the guys inside the circle. So in all honesty, if you have to take that fight, do it out here instead. It's just, as you said, not really benefiting anyone.
Yeah, there's no real advantage to doing this.
Yeah.
K23 are just going to drive straight around them. They don't want to get involved in it at all.
Makes perfect sense to clip with the M24. We've seen him do a lot of damage with that weapon before. But then again, we've also seen Smash. I mean, Smash in week 1 was the top damage dealer in this group. And I feel like yesterday we need a home with one of the teams that I was kind of missing out on. Didn't really have the best of days in yesterday's matches in Miramar.
Let's see if they can turn things around again here. They've got themselves in a good spot within the circle. They've got Riddle just on the other side, as you saw them having that back and forth battle. The Futbolist under pressure from the powerful team. We've got a 2-2 split pretty much around the Futbolist members here.
New circle is gonna pop. Where are we headed? Northern Lights still out on the western side, and this one sent us up once more. We saw endgame happening up here yesterday as well. Avangar, I believe, got that win with Zoekt Een Naam taking second place. T-Bone was trying all he could, but he would go down in the end of things. And now Avangar, in all honesty, have a chance to make their way up to the exact same spot they got that win from yesterday.
Could it be a sign, though? They've got 4 alive still.
Yeah.
You saw them taking a few shots onto Seekorg, but they've not engaged in anything else other than that. Digging up the level 3 gear, as we saw earlier as well.
The thing is, they have to consider when are we going to cross this road. Because if it doesn't go east back to where we were before, right now they know that the east is clear. They have that under control. ANL. Ooh, that's a lot of missed bullets. They hit a few, but not enough. And now he's completely surrounded. Solo player remaining too. How are you going to stay alive here?
Tries to get the nade out to do some extra damage. Greg is up behind the rock. He is able to land the headshot there. Greg got to be careful. He's not actually doing too much damage back to NL, but who's just sat there chilling.
Greg just keeps peeking without any HP. I like the aggression, but maybe it's a bit too dangerous for him. They got miles to run still, and that's the bad thing for these guys. Once this circle does connect, which it will in just about a minute and a half time, it's going to be difficult, and Istanbul goes down in the trade-off of things. Right now you can put a circle line from north to south, and you only got teams on the west. Page down, as well as Forze and Zoekt Een Naam starts growing off against one another.
Yeah, this is that fight continuing now that Zen know that Forze will have to push into the circle. Now, Zen did get their first kill onto him, but Page has now gone down, so they've evened it up in that terms. And Forze are a team that will take these kind of fights. Yeah. They're always confident with that.
Zoekt Een Naam, I guess you can say, on the wrong side of the valley right now. They're trying to hold off people rotating in, but they as well have a tough task at hand in making their way out of here. Because it seems like Forze, as you can see on your screens, making their rotations on around Riddle. They're coming in on foot a bit further out, but I don't think anyone really knows of their position. And then you have the guys in the valley down here, and they just, honestly, they just have to stick around until they're forced to leave.
It's a waiting game for these guys. As Zinzan, he's actually going to get onto Forze as well now, so that's going to find him in under a bit of pressure. Clib's getting up close and personal as well.
Needs to wait for his teammates. There's still 4 guys up, and they have a chance here. Salters is miles out, and it's technically a 4v1 right now. Of course, they don't know that necessarily, but they have a good chance. But as you can see, Zoekt Een Naam on the hilltop. They're looking over. They want to get some angles here.
Yeah, this is where I'm very scared for Riddle, as Zinzan nearly gets flushed as well. Forze does get the job done. Clib straight back on the hunt, and he will come in to do it, but that is just not a successful trade out here for Riddle. That's not why they would have wanted it at all. And in the meantime as well, Hjort's been taken down by Ivor, so Riddle, a little bit split here, not playing it so well and they're trying to push in, and they're taking a hell of a lot of damage from all these little fights.
You'd assume that they knew that there was a player inside the house that they were pushing, but then again, I mean, just rough angle, good play on the staircase by Phosphid, and they would go down in the end. Circle south down towards Insidegames, and they have a good chance here, but as we can see on the map, multiple fights happening, and this time around is K23 gone out in 13th place. Rough rotations coming in. Same thing happening for No Tag Team right now, under tons of pressure.
K23, they rotated all the way down the south. They saw the fights that were going on between Besiktas, Gamerlegion, and Co. And they said, no, do you know what? We're going to get out of here. They went for a different direction, and instead they run into another set of teams, and they couldn't get things going. 15th is all they will be able to achieve here.
Constantly under fire from since they started the rotation until the very end. Tamil gets himself not good start by Otsolo back there.
Yeah, nice long-range shots coming in. Obviously won't get the finish off now, but it's done the damage, which at least make Besiktas pay the price for a little bit here. The Futbolist are going to be under pressure. Hannings ends up dying out to the circle.
Yeah, I'm not seeing how in the universe Futbolist can get out of this one alive. Quick gets taken down by Morpheus. Powerful as well, though. Have to make their rotation in towards the circle. They do have control of the valley, but they do not have any control in what's going on up the hill. You can see here they're trying to hold off the remaining Futbolist players before they make the rotation in. But circle's already closing, and they got to figure whether it's worth it to take these fights or just making a way into the circle yourself.
Ghost Star doesn't know where to look. Although he keeps seeing a little bit of a pixel go, there you are. Oh, no. Try to get the nade out. Good distance, but nope, they're all hidden away. It's not going to work out.
Not just enough distance on it. And Glutony with his teammates. 3 guys on their feet now, trying to stay put. They spent the time here getting over the side. I like to see that. Now from the far side behind them. That's the issue here. You cannot go up and take a high ground position too much, because there will be teams spotting you from the other side. Norki realized that very quickly.
Yeah, he does not want to leave himself out in the open there to be picked apart, as we need a home. You can see them down on the mini screen at the moment. A little bit of a battle here, 4v2 against the no-tag players. Aris will start off with the first knock, though, which is a solid beginning.
Yeah, they need that and then some more. Give it does go down, and now Nate is starting to rain in towards Aris. All by himself, 1v3. Let's see what we need home can do with this one. This is their time to show that they have what it takes to win these games, and they do. Well, not win the game yet, at least, but they do manage to take out no-tag team.
And again, no-tag team. Like we said yesterday, they only had one good placement overall out of the 4 games, despite having such a great first day on Miramar. So now, this is not what they would have wanted either, going down in 12th. And I know Aris got the opening kill of the game, but that was all they managed to achieve, really.
Yeah, Zoekt Een Naam under pressure here as well. Vasco and Ivo all by themselves. Ivo's trying to make a run for the circle, and Vasco's been the one left behind, trying to hold off the inevitable push by Powerful.
So much damage being done there. The fact he's even going to be able to get more because once that grenade came in. Oh my god, Vasco! Wow. Solid spray down coming in, but Power, they do get past. They do manage to overrun him, and they will take him down. His teammates are close by. They were just about seeing what's going on, but they can't engage in this just yet.
Ivo doesn't want to start shooting yet either. He knows there's so many players around them, and if he gives up his position, that could be other teams third-partying and taking him out. Now he does have to shoot, though. Gets down Broxel immediately, but he has to make a run on back, as Seekorg are now trying to make their way over towards them.
Yeah, all that noise has alerted Seekorg to what's been going on, and Ivo is just running forward trying to avoid grenades. More shots coming at him. It's Ghost Star from behind, able to land a couple of nice shots. Is he be able to take Ivo down? Ivo doesn't be fully aware of where he's getting shot from, and he's very cautious from both directions.
Circle's gonna force Ghost Star to heal. Will he get the first hit off in time? No, he won't. Shot instead of healing, and that got him taken down. Now Insidegames. This is the exact position they were sitting. Oh, no, this was the game that Insidegames won yesterday, where they split in this exact position. That is interesting. It wasn't the game that Avangar won. It was the Insidegames one with 4 guys alive. And they were sitting in this exact spot, and now they get the circle on top of them once again.
Insidegames didn't win yesterday, so I'm guessing
the day before.
Yeah, day one.
Monday.
The day
That is interesting. The exact same spot is where they're playing, and the exact same spots where the circles are going. Win this one though. They only have 2 guys up the hill so far. Zoekt Een Naam eliminated in 10th place. Balas gets him with a nade inevitably. Had to go down. Straight guy for 1v4 is going to be too much. We need a home. Goes down as well, just outside of placement points. And Futbolist on the edge of the circle here, trying to make their way forward. As Insidegames right now at least are, well, I mean, potentially the only ones that can really hold them off.
Yeah, Insidegames, they've just got a nice shooting gallery ahead of them.
Yeah.
Futbolist, they bided their time and only just got into the circle, but still been able to get some kills here. So they're playing it smart in that sense. Avangar, we've not seen much from them this game, but now is their time to strike. 1 kill so far for Asverin, but they've still got 4 players up, and they're in a pretty good position overall.
They're sitting well in it up on the northern side. This is the game that they didn't win the other day because of the Wildcats player, Katurgan, shooting them from behind. So now this is their time to get the revenge. They got the entire recipe kind of filled out so far. Stay alive until late game. Doesn't matter with the kills. Keep 4 guys up, and then we can take it on the edge, and that's exactly where they're positioned right now.
Seekorg trying to keep themselves together here, but Sunzi will find himself getting knocked down. Smoke's provided to give him that extra cover.
See Furex trying to hold off LXG inside the compound. They know they're in there, and for Philo and Balas is sitting around the sides here, trying to, well, I mean, at least help out a little bit, applying some pressure down. Fortunately for them, Avangar ain't really in a position to force a fight with them. That could have been a devastating third party for them. But as you can see here, they know exactly where they're sitting to.
The moment he moves, like, no, no.
Yeah.
Can't do that. It's not going to work out. Barlos's position's known, though. Zampeak tries to take 1 shot at him, but it's not going to be able to connect. Nicely done. No headshot just yet, but at least it forces Sunzi back down.
Zampeak forgot to loot this game.
No, but wow. You need a teammate there to try and trade you off some, mate.
This is the thing. They've been sitting in this position for the longest of time, and they've been shooting at everything moving, but they've never gotten kills, and they've never gotten any knocks with it. So the ammo that they've been spending, they haven't really been able to pick back up.
Yeah, they're going to have to hope that some of these teams get close range to them. They can fight back and loot against them.
Gamerlegion still alive in this one, too. And they've got the circle down towards them. Is this the game, James, where they break the curse?
Oh, God. They would certainly want to. They do not want to have another 2nd place come into it. Now we go a bit slow and steady here now as Maxazor's trying to land the shots. And he's silent but deadly with that. And when I say deadly, it's extremely deadly when it's in his hands. It's a scary prospect for any team to deal with.
Kudos to OK Bro as well for staying alive for this long. Northern Lights got caught off on the western side as they tried to make that long rotation around. The only player that made it through was OK Bro. And well, I mean, he's still in it. He's going to have a tough rotation across the street, but he's still alive.
He doesn't have to move just yet either, so he's right on the edge as Furak's going to start off onto LXG as they have now had to come out. They're making their way forward, and Seekorg are all over him. This is really good from Seekorg. One knock does come in straight into a kill from Fuse, but the nades go out as well, and this is not looking good for the players of LXG.
And all of a sudden, multiple teams are starting to engage on each other. Avangar tried the third party one side, Gamerlegion fourth party them, and now LXG and Seekorg once again. Great fights coming in, but help coming in from multiple sides will get them taken out. Besiktas now chiming in on towards Gamerlegion as well here. And now it's Insidegames. The two players up on the hill, they got the assist from the teammates. They're making the push on over further forward, but now Futbolist are pushing up towards them.
So many nades just came out towards Seekorg there, but Barlow is able to get himself the first knock. Pixel straight away on the refrag there. Zampeek's actually going to get finished off by the Futbolists, who have now started to come in. And Senix, he's going to have to run back down. He can't afford to take these shots from both Besiktas and Futbolists as they're working away around. And Mockingjay starts off with the first Australorix just sat there chilling, waiting. He doesn't know how to attack into this. This is far too much going on.
This was that one big pile of dynamite just waiting to get lit, and it just happened just before we lost so many players in such a short amount of time. Insidegames, despite all their effort, despite how hard they tried to stay alive and get a good time third party, they go out in 7th place. We've just gotten into placement points, and there's only 12 people alive. And scary, scary, scary. We got Avangar up at 4.
Now they're coming into it. They've seen what's gone on, and they want to get the party started. Nades going out. Barlow trying to keep himself going. He's just running forward. He will be spotted out. He's just trying to keep his head low, but that's not going to work out. And Seekorg are going down in 6th.
Yeah, not a whole lot more now. They're just starting to swoop. They have seen all the damage done in the kill feed and all the knocks, all the kills coming in, and they know all these teams are hurt. And if they can just stay 4 guys together, makes wise rotations, make smart pushes, they can do this. You can see with Snoopy, even though he's up front, even though he's aggressive, trying to take the charge, he's still waiting for his teammates. You gotta have patience even when you're aggressive.
Futbolist trying to at least throw some nades up to say, stay away from us. Don't come
We're many people down here. Rah, rah. Yeah.
There's not just 2 of us, because Avangar very close to them, got themselves in the circle and could work their way around. I do really want to see them check this, though. They should know as Maxazor hitting the shot, forces Tomil to get some cover behind the tree, tries to get his foot as well, but Ultra's going to chime on some shots back towards him. Going to force Maxazor to have to get a bandaging on go.
Yeah, Gamerlegion, they're alive on the eastern side, and OK Bro as well, staying put for the longest of time. Now we do get one knock coming in towards Snoopy. Aspirin goes down as well. Once again, Futbolist doing everything they have to stay alive. Good knock coming for Noctive, though he needs more. 6-6 on his weapon. He hasn't just hit by this one, but he does it anyway. What an insane headshot. 6 times scope up close, and Noctive makes it look easy.
This man, time and time again. Yes, Avangar ended up losing 2 players in that fight, and that was against only 2 players of Futbolist as well, so really strong performance coming out from them again here. But Avangar just proved a little bit too much. Now it's up to a Noctive and Maxazor to see what they can do, and they're looking for these Besiktas players on the rotation. They've got the high ground to work off of here, but can they get any kills from the back of it? Gamerlegion still in here as well. OK Bro, the solo player.
Yeah.
He's made it across the road, but now he's going to find himself back inside the circle.
What can he do here? That's going to be interesting to see. How is he going to impact this one? You see Hamster looking down towards the compound on the southern side there, trying to see if anyone else is making their way on over. We know he has to leave eventually, and because they don't really have anything to fear from the north right now, I think the main focus, or at least one of the players' focus, should be on making sure nobody leaves those buildings.
Ultra doesn't want to move any further forward. They're in the circle. Tomil's still stuck right at the back of it.
That tree is right in the way for Maxazor to spot him down the hill. You can see Maxazor has the AUG, picked it up from his fallen teammate.
Shots being heard.
Nobody shooting towards OK Bro, though. So he's still alive, still kicking, with 7 players up and alive.
He's loving life.
Impressive 4th place. Got to give it to him. He's been Metal Gear Soliding the hell out of this one.
In a big way now. Avangar still have huge high ground advantage here. If Hamster gets spotted out, it's going to be a struggle for his teammate to help him react on it, just because of the distance they've got between each other here. Nade goes out. Hamster should be aware of it. Throws up a nade of his own.
is 4 nades for Max. He saw that one though right on his feet, has to make the run off. Fortunately not cooked well enough. Could have been an explosion right on his feet, but not quite the case. More
nades still barreling out though, and Ucta's throwing his last one, and it's right on the money. Hamster's going to go down now. Fex has a decision to make. Can I get the revive off, or will I just be taken out here? Because as he goes to go for it, there's multiple teams that might be able to see him here. He can't allow this to happen. Hamster's going to probably try and push his way down, but there's more nades coming out. Fex is going to be under pressure anytime soon.
And this is so unfortunate for Hamster. He was sitting in a good position. Sure, he was sitting in the same one for a while, but that nade from an Octave, he had no idea where he was at that time, and he just throws it over the hill and gets it right on the money.
And I love this from Avangar. They're not trying to overextend and push up into that and play into Fex's hands.
I mean, they have the nades. They might as well play around it, right? But you can see who's utilizing their time spent elsewhere as Besiktas. They're making a push on up, and now they have Tomil sitting right on the dot for that potential final circle to come into play.
Nades going out towards them, though. Avangar doesn't have the information, but they're trying to find it. Okay, bro, he's just chilling, waiting for this all to go down. He can hear it all. Hamster now maybe getting res though. That's going to be huge if they can bring that up into it.
Besiktas have made their way all the way up. Ultra is so close right now. And as you can see, as you said yourself as well there, Gamerlegion does manage to get back up to 2 people alive. But how in the universe are they going to play this? Okay, bro has the entire south to himself.
Little does he know. He's just waiting it out.
He's just chilling. And this is perfect for him. He knows he's not going to get kills. And again, every single placement. I mean, you know the other guys are going to be fighting.
Max has spotted him. More nades coming. He knows exactly what could be happening next. They're going to just back away. There's no reason to stay for it. It's going to be interesting how Fex tries to play off this. It just seems to be Hamster doing a lot of the work.
Okay, bro is going to start smoking. To me, honestly, a bit too early. That's going to allow for people to know that there is indeed a player back there. You see Tomil immediately turns around and looks in that direction. Nades now being thrown as well. Everything being thrown, but Ultra goes down. Tomil was looking south, and he's nowhere near in a position to help out his teammate.
And you saw that from Avangar. They were not allowing someone else to try and pick that apart. But now this is Gamerlegion's time to strike. If Avangar are this busy and they're focused elsewhere, you need to go for it. As Tomil's still looking and hoping he can maybe get OK Bro taken down here. But he is trapped in between both Avangar and Gamerlegion. At least in OK Bro's position, he's a little bit further back.
Yeah, in all honesty, OK Bro could have run up to the next hill formation without using that smoke that gave away his position and allowed for the teams to know that he was down there in Octave. Knows where they are. Max is so from above, tries to place those nades right. Not gonna happen though. We still have 3 more to throw.
Oh, Hamster finds Tomil though, so that's gonna be good for Gamerlegion. Now we're into a 2 versus 2. Gamerlegion back in the 2nd place. The curse cannot be real for much longer, can it? Hamster's already been knocked once. Fex is yet to really provide the good damage that his teammates are gonna need here.
1 HP for Fex. Such a good damage coming in from Hamster that forces them to sit down for a second, allow for a player to heal up. But this one right here, Gamerlegion, oh my lord, this could be the 4th 2nd place in 9 games on Miramar for you.
Noctive trying to balance it, spots out Hamster, takes a couple of shots, can't make him connect. Fex is there as well. Damage being done, and so much damage off towards Hamster. They're getting it done, but Maxisor's going to fall. This is the chance for Gamerlegion. They're both very low, but they can make this work. And Noctive looking to do the damage again. Pokes out, but can't land the shots. He's just going up and down. He's playing his movement so well here, and Hamster is just trying to creep forward. They need to play as a team. This needs to be the 2v1 and pure teamwork coming out Gamerlegion. You cannot afford to allow this to happen again, but you are going up against an absolute monster in Noctive. And Noctive is still waiting for it. He's being very cautious of how this circle's coming in. He just wants one of them to poke out and give him a dime of a chance, give him a pixel to shoot at. He wants just one shot to be able to take here, and it is not going to be easy to happen. Maxisor gets finished off, and Noctive being very cautious still. Comes in with a first spray, gets himself a knock, but he won't get it done. And Gamerlegion finally get a win.
It happened. The curse has been lifted.
Took them a while, but they got there in the end. It was very scary, evil.